what was shocking was she lied blatantly and without any compunction, and then now sought to say there's nothing wrong with lying. It's not a
Mm.
criminal offence.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we expect more from people in public life who are being given the great privilege of sitting in the House of Lords. I mean, to sit in the House of Lords is a privilege. We're not even elected. We don't even have to go out there and win the support of the public.
What is the talk in the Lord's tea room about all this?
I think people feel rather affronted because the word that George just used is the right one, the word of unedifying, because not only did she admit that she had lied through her teeth when she was asked about this. I mean, she threatened legal actions against anybody who were going to suggest that she had been involved in this company or had benefited from it. And then it turned out that she's had to confront the fact that that was totally untrue. And she was involved in it. But she also was not honest in her dealings with government ministers. And gave them to understand that this was an arm's length thing, that she was really introducing a needful nation that needed a protective covering for those who were putting their lives at risk in the health service in order to deal with this pandemic. She was presenting it as to the world as though somehow she was doing something that was in the national interest in a worthy way, and it was really about seeking to benefit herself and her family. And she also, remember that in the course of the hustling to get a deal, she was aggressive and unpleasant in her dealings with people, including Lord Bethel and others. And so it smacks of self-enrichment, of people going into the House of Lords to self-enrich. And what I took exception to in the course of her interview, what she tried to suggest, she said other baronesses and lords were doing precisely the same, as if we were all at it. Well, I'm sorry, but I take a real offence at that suggestion, because I think that the majority of people at the time were deeply concerned about what was happening to the country. And there were people who sought to profiteer out of it, undoubtedly. There were people who did fraudulent things. And there were people who wanted to make a profit out of it. You will always get that in
Yes.
crises. But what was shocking was she lied blatantly and without any compunction, and then now sought to say there's nothing wrong with lying. It's not a criminal offence.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we expect more from people in public life who are being given the great privilege of sitting in the House of Lords. I mean, to sit in the House of Lords is a privilege. We're not even elected. We don't even have to go out there and win the support of the public. We're appointed on the basis that we're supposed to be bringing some kind of expertise into the House in debate. I don't know that I'd ever heard her speaking. I mean,
Well,
it
it's
would
an
be
extraordinary
interesting
story,
to find
Helena.
out.
But let me, in the limited time we've got, let me just ask you one more. I mean, Lady Mone has had a lot of flack after admitting that she lied about her involvement in this multi-million pound deal. Now, what about the National Crime Agency? We knew and we know the VIP lane, so-called, was used by lots of people with political contacts to get involved in supplying goods at high prices. We know those prices were inflated by supply and demand. But what about the National Crime Agency? I'm choosing my words carefully here. What could or would trigger a prosecution? Because a lot of those things I mentioned were known and do not seem to be in themselves outside the law.
Well, there are two things that are being investigated and that are being dealt with. One is that the National Health Service is itself involved in considering, as I understand it, there's a sort of an exchange of letters as a preliminary to possible action, because a large part of this contract that was not fulfilled, because although it was delivered, the stuff was not fit for purpose. And so quite a large part of the consignment that was secured by Baroness Mone's company, or her husband's company, or the setup that she was involved with, which was created for this purpose, wasn't fit for purpose. So there's going to be civil litigation on that. But the question of criminality, of course, is the thing that is being also investigated, the fraudulence that there might have been. And, that it's very difficult for us to enter into that without further knowledge of exactly what went on and when.